There was this question somebody asked me, why should we marry? Means, what's the importance of getting married? And should we really even bother? Because it has its pros and it has its cons, as we all know. And the answer was quite obvious, that yes, you should marry, have a family if possible. Not everybody can have that, but those who can, then they should have it. It's an experience of your life. And there are other aspects to it as well. But then there is a deeper discussion as well which is required. And this is a bigger requirement than what you want for yourself and I want for myself. We have to decide whether it boils down to this. It really boils down to this. Two options you have. Either you are furthering your knowledge, your wisdom, your house. You want to have somebody after you in this world who's gonna carry your memory in their hearts, that this was my mom, this was my dad. You want to give your gifts, your costly things you bought, the house, the money, the jewelry, the memorable things in your life, the special things you think, oh wow, this was special in my life. You want to pass it on. If something, you have a great culture, you have great tradition, you want to pass that on to them as well. But you can choose to just end it, end humanity. You can say, right, having children, working hard for good 20 years before we can even see any returns on them. I think I read somewhere that it costs upwards of £150,000 in the UK nowadays to raise one child from 0 to 18 years. 150. And that is discounting the effort. You're having sleepless nights, changing nappies, going through the tantrums, million other problems, picking, dropping, doing this, and the heartache and the hospital runs and everything comes with a package. That's the deal. So as I was saying, there are pros and cons to marriage, but cons of marriage and pros have to be evaluated into the light of the question whether we want the humanity to continue or not. Look at countries like Japan, one of the ancient civilizations. Nobody is blowing them to smithereens. Nobody is throwing bombs at them. Nobody is fighting them after the Pearl Harbor and all that happened. Just now in present time, Japan is safe. But still it is dying. And so the only answer is you choose whether your civilization will perish or your civilization will continue. And to do that, the only successful way proven in the human history is marriage. It is Vivaha Sanskar. Why? Because through the hard work and blood and sweat of the men and women, both together, working at the hip, you can grow. You can have family. You need people to bounce off with. So if my wife is having a rough night due to some health issues, I look after the baby. There is somebody to bounce your stresses and worries and options with. And therefore, the only proven way for humanity to survive is having marriage. Vivaha Sanskar. And so, you can't just say that any two people, you just choose a random male, random female, tell them to marry and have children. Why? Because you want the humanity to go ahead. That doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. We all know that. But we have to plan for it. We have to help the lovely couples. We have to make it easy for them to have a family. We should find a way as a society where one person can earn and other 5 can eat. It should be that affordable. It used to be like that, where one person of the family used to go to work, and the money that person used to bring was enough for the family, for the children, the wife, the whole, parents, grandparents. They used to live together as a family. Now, even 2 people working in one family can't afford everything. They can't afford a decent house. The house prices are going through the roof. The food prices are going through the roof. Everything's going up. Insurance is going up. Travel is growing up. Everywhere, cost is growing and growing. Petrol prices, everything. Look at the taxes, left, right, and center. So what is happening is people don't have enough money left at the end of the day. Ideally, a family cannot grow in a concrete jungle. It's not an ideal place for a family. Children need beautiful surroundings. They are little gems. They are growing. They are learning. They are going to be our future. We have to invest in them. They need to have open parks. They need to have gardens. They need to have lakes. They need to have mountains. They need to have rivers. They need to be around Mother Nature. They need to be with animals. They need to be with humans. They need to be with the herbs and the plants and the trees and connect with Mother Earth. Be a son of the earth. Be a child of the earth. A person who is rooted in his world is connected to his motherland. He should have identity of that land. He should be connected with the people of that land through which we all connect and make a community, and only then we can get a country. If we don't do that, then what happens is very simple. People treat your country's passport as a document. Oh, I'm an international person. I just use this document of this country where I reside mostly, and then I go around the world. I don't belong to any one country. A lot of people say that. Do you know why? Because they mean it. They mean it. They don't belong to any. I don't think that's a good idea, because you only take care of things in general. You only take care of things which are your own. If it is your camera, your purse, you take care of it. Your keys, you take care of it. You don't leave it lying around. You look after it. In a similar way, you can be only prosperous as a country if you look after your country. And when would you do that? When you think this is my country and I am of this country. I'm a child of this country. And so that ownership has to come. As we say in the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, Janani Janama Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. The mantra says that mother and motherland are more important to me than heavens. So heaven is also not more important than my mother and my motherland. To the idea of understanding that marriage is a union of 2 people where they plan to work together to have a lovely family. And when we have one happy family, one stable family, we have one healthy cell. Our body is made of multiple cells. Similarly, our country is made of different people, its families, its communities, its boroughs, its neighborhoods, its councils. It's made of those. And what are councils made of? Houses. Factories. And who is in the factories and the houses? Families, groups. Who is in the family? You and me. We all are in this world. If we work and gel together, then the country progresses. And then if we have a happy family, our country is also happy. And we don't have to rely on foreigners and immigrants. Because that's another big hoopla, that's a big issue, as you all know. You don't have to go, because you'd have your own engineers, you'd have your own doctors, you'd have your own nurses. You wouldn't have to import them from foreign countries. And so, do you see, the magic pill which is going to help our society is marriage. It's Vivaha Sanskar.